I don't.
Welcome everyone. So happy that you showed up today for this Yin class. I started to say Yin can work like an emotional detox. I really think all yoga can be alchemaic to your emotions, because sometimes, you know, you may show up to the mat and you're really grieving and just sad. And sometimes you're coming to the mat angry and mad, you know, but once you start to get engrossed in your breath, and once you start to move your body, and once you start to clear some space in your mind, that is the inner alchemy, and you can actually transmute that energy, and you can actually walk away from this practice completely feeling differently and feeling more uplifted and elevated. So that is my hope for you today, as always. But I thought we would talk about fascia today. Fascia is the material or the tissues in the body that overlay everything else. So it's under the skin, but it overlays the muscles and the bones. So the way that we typically picture the inner anatomy, we don't often remember the fascia that overlays it. Unless, of course, you had to go through some type of surgery. And when you go through some type of surgery, they have to cut through that fascia. And that's how we develop the scar tissue that needs to be opened back up. Because they say the fascia, this connective tissue, is very similar to a spider web in the body. It's like cheesecloth, if you're more familiar with fabric. It's supposed to be kind of rubber bandish. You know, it should be able to stretch out, it should be able to retract. It needs to be hydrated. So there's about 70% of water inside the fascia. So sometimes if you start to develop pain in the body, like I'm going through menopause right now, like I get weird pains in my body out of the blue now. I'll wake up with my wrist just hurting, or my thumb joints may hurt, you know. Anyway, sometimes those pains are due to, yes, hormones, right? Because that's what I'm kind of dealing with. But sometimes it's dehydration, and you just need to lubricate your body. The cool thing about the fascia is, I'm not wearing the right fabric for this, I don't think. But think about it, it's kind of like a spider web. You know, if you see a spider web, if you walk through a spider web, it's all sticky, right? And it sticks to you and you're trying to get it off your body. But say for instance, like a bug, right, gets trapped in the spider web, and the spider comes up and wraps it up, you know, to have it for a meal later, right? Something that gets trapped here, think about my shirt being like the fascia. Do you see how if something gets trapped here, how it creates a line in different places? This is important to know because lots of times we may have pain, for instance, here, but it actually stems from here. And it's just a result of what's happening here. So the fascia is good to know about. What they've discovered in modern times is that this fascia that overlays everything, and this is something that acupuncture works with, and some other modalities work with, but that layer also allows for information to be shared, and that intelligence and information travels through the body through the fascia, which is pretty cool. This is what Chinese medicine has said for a millennia of time, and something that Western science is now just wrapping their heads around, you know. So anyway, we're going to work through these Yin poses that help to open up the fascia. So the intention of being passive and relaxed in these type of poses is so that we're exercising this material in the body. It also helps the joints and the ligaments in the body. Versus the active yoga, it's about alignment with the skeletal system and engaging the muscles and, you know, that sort of thing. So that's what we're gonna consider as we go through our practice. Let's go ahead and begin in child's pose. A couple of you were already in child's pose when we started. You can really take any form. Maybe you prefer the traditional way, maybe you prefer the arms extended out in front of you. But go ahead and settle in. So when you settle into child's pose, just check out the weight descending in the front portions of the feet, your shins, maybe your knees. See if you can rest down on your brow, and if your head doesn't automatically touch the floor, you can always cross your arms to provide a headrest. Just notice what you're coming to the mat with today. Scan through your body and notice what your body is saying. Be aware of the energy, whether it's high or low. Be aware of the emotions that you're currently wrapped up in, if any at all. And then also notice the state of your mind. So the good thing is not only this pose, but this penetration of the brow at this marma point or acupressure point will help to get us more calm and relaxed. And if you evoke the breath, calling the breath up to your attention and then taking command over the breath can also assist. So go ahead and begin that engagement with your breath. Breathing in a deliberate way. In a mindful manner. Look at the inhalations as filling you up. The exhalations as a way to let something go. As you continue to improve the quality of your breath, soften your face, your teeth, your gums, your tongue, your jaw, your lips. And if you find that you're holding lots of tension in your face or your jaw, practicing a cleansing breath where you inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth, that can be helpful. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and gently lift the head up. Travel the hands over and off to the right side of the mat, onto the coolness of the wood floor, and then gently lower it back down. Once you lower back down, the head might need to hover. It may not touch the floor this time, and that's okay. The intention here is to open up the left side body. To breathe more fully into that left lung. To minimize any tension that's been housed here. And there is an energetic channel called the gallbladder meridian that travels up through the outseam of the body. Notice that side lifting on the in-breath. Notice that deflation and soft dissension on the out-breath. On your next inhale, let's gently lift the face.
We're going to travel the arms all the way over to the left side of the mat. The hands can stay shoulder distance apart as you lower back in. Feel free to allow the eyes to close. Now promoting more breath into the right side, specifically your right lung. Think of that fascia as being like cheesecloth, very porous. And then also be in that state of wonderment and curiosity and noticing where any of that connective tissue may be bunched up, locked up. Not trying to force the opening, but we do command the breath. Breathing new life in, taking more oxygen in, and this vital life force energy. Inhale, slowly lift up. You're going to walk your hands back to center, lift up to hands and knees. We're going to curl the toes and lift the knees so that we're creating downward facing dog, this inverted V shape with the body, letting the legs straighten out. You're gazing in the direction that the feet are beyond. And on your next inhale, fly up through the heels. Exhale, land to your knees. But you're going to keep the toes tucked. You're going to slide the arms out, letting the elbows melt down and allowing the face to come down. So it's similar to child's, but we have the toes curled. We're stretching the toes, we're stretching the fascia of the feet. And this can help to prevent plantar fasciitis. Since you're face down, take a cleansing breath in through your nose. Let it pour out through your mouth. On your next inhale, slowly walk your hands back towards your knees. The toes are still tucked under. I know this can get intense. Okay, so I'm feeling it too. It's not pleasant. Now, to keep it more pleasant, keep your hands down. If you want the intensity, if you want to build up, you can come to what we call Thai goddess pose, which it's too much for me today. Some days I can, some days I can't. So if you're feeling like, ow, too much, then join me and have your hands down. Let's just take 3 more breaths. And think about how the feet take us everywhere we go, and yet so often they're ignored or trapped in shoes. All right, this time lean your hands down because we're going to push up, land the heels, and fold over in half with the knees bent. Now, you can do a couple different things here with your arms. One thing you can do is just relax them and let them hang down like a rag doll. And your other option is to clasp up one of your forearms or elbows. When you clasp one of your arms, it will make the upper body heavier, which will create more intensity through the backside of your legs. So just be aware of that. If you come into that shape and it's like, oh, too much, just let your hands hang down. So energy is vibration. And as energy erupts and starts to move through one of these main meridian channels that travels through the back of the body, you might feel slight swaying. I think it's the perfect name for this position because think about a pendant hanging from a necklace. How it dangles and shifts and sways dependent on where you are and what you're doing. So you could feel it that way at times with the upper body in this pose. Notice if your eyes are closed, you might be able to sense how the cheeks of the face feel a little heavier. That's why they call inversions a natural facelift, because we're inverting ourselves and using gravity to send the skin the other direction. So it's a nice replenisher for the face. We'll hold for 3 more breaths. On your next in breath, go ahead and bring the hands to the sticky mat. Walk the hands out in front of you until you come to what we call plank position, but we're not holding plank. We're just transitioning down to the knees to table. And then we're going to step the left foot forward and up between the hands. Now I'm going to give you a couple options because I think choices are great. So with your knees tucked over the ankle here, you have the option to just drape the upper body and hang your head. But you could also heel toe that left foot over, bring your left arm to the inside of that knee, and you could choose to be here on the stilts of the arms, or you could potentially drop to the forearms. And it's also okay to bring the floor to you. So if you wanted to be on your forearms, but you can't quite reach that level, bring the blocks underneath the arms or the bolster under the arms. I meant to tell you, if you need a blanket underneath your back knee, always put more padding there. So again, we want to try to find about 80% of our edge in the pose. Because we're going to hold it and steep in it and breathe through it and develop some patience. Let it unfold. Let the tension unravel. And if your mind gets a little swirly, just be sure to utilize your breath. Calm and slow the mind. Hold for about 3 more. The end of those 3, you can pick yourself up. You can bring the left knee back. And we're immediately stepping the right foot through. Again, you have the choice to do this dragon pose this way, where you're just kind of melting over that front knee. Or you can heel toe the foot over, bring the right arm to the inside, and potentially drop down more into a low flying dragon. Now, what typically helps me when I'm holding a longer posing yin is really extending out those exhalations, making them much longer than the inhalations. Continue to work inside the body. Just notice where you have more density, less limberness. And just know that doing these yin poses can really help to improve our flexibility. You can bring the synovial fluid back to the joints. Take 3 more. End of those breaths, you can stack back onto your palms, relift, and lean your hips back, which will help slide the right knee back. All right, we'll curl the toes. We'll launch into downward facing dog. And from Adho Mukha Svanasana, this time walk it out. So bend the left knee and drop your right heel down. And then bend your right knee and drop your left heel down. And then continue that walking, but we're actually going to step the feet 1 foot at a time, all the way up towards the top of the mat. When you arrive, you're coming back into dangling pose. The more familiar you get with this particular style of yoga, you're going to discover there's not a lot of standing positions. This is one of the few. A lot of them are closer to the ground. A lot of them are about forward folding, because forward folds help us with that aspect of letting go. And this can be a very grounding practice. So you're opening up the urinary bladder meridian now, as well as the governor vessel. 2 that travel alongside the back of the body. The next several breaths, I want you to inhale to the count of 4. And see if it's possible to exhale to the count of 8. And I want you to bring the hands down, continue to bend the knees to get the hands to the floor so that your heels levitate up and you come into this deep flexion in your knees for toe balance. Your hands can then take residence on the knees for you to slowly build the spine up. Gaze at one spot in front of you, or focus on eye helps with the focused mind. Bring your hands to prayer. See if you can lift the hands over the crown of your head. All right, let the arms spray down to the floor. Slowly land your heels, but you're gonna step your right foot back, and then you're gonna lower the back heel to the sticky mat. Your left hand's gonna cross to the inside of the knee. Your right hand is gonna go off onto the wood floor, and you're gonna crouch down, and this is called Spider-Man pose. So your left toes are still turned towards the front of the room, and then you're lunging that knee, you got it. I'm not gonna hold this one as long for obvious reasons. And then slowly spin to frame the front foot. All right, when you're ready, launch the back foot forward and immediately step your left foot way back, like a lunge, and then plant your back foot, bring your right hand to the inside, set your left hand onto the wood floor, and then crouch down. This is a more active pose, but it's called Spider-Man. And since we were talking about the fascia being like the spider web of the body, just makes sense to include it. All right, when you're ready, slowly lift up, swirl back around, plant your palms, step into downward facing dog. Palms pressing. Sits bones rising. Head bowed. All right, so in active practice, I would be asking you to hop the feet forward, but this is it. We're going to step forward because it's meant to be more sloth-like. So step one foot up, maybe your left foot behind your left hand, maybe your right foot behind your right hand. Toes spin out. Tailbone drifts down. Hands to prayer at your third eye. This is more of the yin form of squat. If you need to sit on a block, you can grab one. It looks like you all can do this. I think this is probably one of the most important poses in yoga. Because in cultures where they cook this way, clean this way, or have tiny structures where it's like a hut that they have to live in, they are healthier in their backs. They eliminate waste easier. And they're more independent as they age. So we feel it in the inner thighs and hips, but it's also really good for the back. Take 3 more breaths. See if you can get heavier on each out breath. And then inhale, we're slowly coming up. When you come up, you're going to keep your feet separated out, pretty wide, about as wide as your seating mat. We're going to bend the knees, and we're going to roll the thighs open and bring the fingertips down. We've been warming up for this pose, actually. So we're going to switch it up after this. Now you're going to see if you can lift and elevate your heels off the floor and kind of maintain your stance on the balls of the feet. And then your hands are going to cross over like this. It's a really pretty pose called spider pose. Or I think it's pretty. Crisscross the arms the other way. Beautiful. I know, I'm ready to come down too. I'm joining you. Let's all release. Straighten out your legs. So again, we don't have to be as structured. So we don't have to flex the feet. We don't have to really keep a flat back unless you have history with any herniated disc. So if you have a history of that, then you may want to flex the feet and have a straighter back. Otherwise, follow my lead. Your legs are more relaxed, your arms fly up. That will help to extend the back as you pour over. So just rain down over the legs. The back of the hands can rest anywhere beside you. And your head can drop. The eyes can close. So let this pose take you inward. It's called caterpillar pose. Think about how a caterpillar, wraps up in silk to go through its metamorphosis. Let your breath flow and smooth the silk. Oftentimes we ask you to notice the breath in the front side of the body, how it rolls between the belly and the chest. I want you to focus on the rolling effect the breath has in your back body. Feel your lungs balloon as you breathe in, deflate as you breathe out. Inhale slowly, unfurl the back. Slide your right foot in, open up the mat width. And this is more half butterfly. So instead of bringing the foot all the way in towards the pubic bone like Janu Shirshasana, let the foot be close to the knee. Inhale, lift the arms up. And then exhale, rain down over the straight leg. Sprouting one of those wings. It's still in our cocoon. We've been exploring different postures to gain access to different areas in our body, to notice through this self-study, where are we more tightly woven? Where have things become caught or trapped? So just notice for a moment, lean your head slightly over. Let's lean it slightly over towards the right arm or right shoulder. Notice if you feel anything through the thread of the neck, moving into that space near the shoulder blade. So in Chinese medicine, they've always said, like, emotions and stress can get trapped in this connective tissue of the fascia. And now Western science is on board. And this placement of our head is going to present to us this area in that trapezius zone where some people exhibit fibromyalgia. And even though that's still somewhat of a mystery, what they're discovering is it's trapped emotional distress. Slowly neutralize the neck, push down through your palms, and slowly come back up. And then we'll take it to the other side. The right leg will lengthen, the left knee will bend, and we'll open that hip. You don't have to be as bold about bringing that heel closely into your body. Lift the arms up, and then exhale, just pour over the straight leg. May notice the trappings could be in your low back. It doesn't have to be in the trapezius zone. Each of us are unique individuals And life is going to show up in our bodies differently. Now lean your head to the left arm. By the way, if you ever do this first thing in the morning, your body will be hypersensitive and it will be super duper intense. We'll inhale, turn the palms down, and slowly. So for now, just slide your right foot in. We sprouted that second wing of the butterfly. We're going to take the hands to tie together underneath the base of the skull. And on the inhale, we're going to lean the head back and push the chest forward. And as we exhale, we're going to contract the belly and bow the head in. Please don't pull the neck. Inhale, the upper wings spread. The chest opens. And exhale, contract and fold. Do that again. Inhale. And exhale. So this time you inhale, lift up. And you're going to bring the soles of the feet together. And you're just going to flop the knees up and down. We're not going to be folding forward today. Instead, we're going to recline back. Let's go ahead and recline down. And go ahead and wrap your arms around the front of the shins or behind your thighs if that's better for your knees. Put your arms open and let your knees roll to the left. Taking a supine twist. Twist, be cleansing to your system. Cleansing and purifying the respiration. cleansing and purifying the endocrine system and the glands, as well as your digestive system and the inner organs. Stress can be a lot for our digestive system. It can wreak havoc on our digestive system. Twist can help, deep diaphragmatic breaths can help. So ensure that you feel your belly swelling as you breathe in. Retract and breathe out. Inhale, tuck the knees back in and let the knees roll to the right. You might even notice a difference from one side to the next if there's a gap between the thighs or knees. Usually where there's a gap, that connective tissue in the low back can be stuck. But remember, it's fibrous tissue, so we can't get it unstuck. It just takes time, attention, deep stretching, deep breathing, practicing with loving kindness. Roll to your right side and tuck your right arm under your ear. Side fetal type position. And push down through your left palm to slide and sit up. We're going to use, did I grab a bolster? So you'll notice again, it's a lot about hips, it's a lot about low back. Of course, it stretches other areas of the body. But we didn't do any real big heart openers today. We just did a little that packed out at the end. So I thought we would end with the heart opening pose and a pose of restoration. Now, check in with your knees. If you need to roll a blanket up and put underneath them, or maybe you need a blanket under your head like a pillow, or maybe to cover your body to keep it weighted and warm. So use it to your liking. Just giving your mind and body permission to take rest. Use a technique to maintain a state of mindfulness. That technique could be as simple as just relaxing the body and opening up your ears to listen to the music and to follow each note. Another technique could be just to watch and witness the breath. coming. Go. Slowly begin to deepen the flow of our own breath. Begin to travel the feet in closer to your body. Maybe wave the knees from side to side. And eventually turning over to your favorites. Coming up to take a seat. Sitting with yourself now. Hopefully experiencing more ease in your body. Maybe some serenity in your mind. Be aware when you depart your practice how the senses may be heightened. Perhaps tonight your dreams might be a little bit more vivid. Joining your palms together to prayer position at your heart. The light within me honors and respectfully bows to the beautiful radiant light in each of you. Namaste. Thanks, you guys, for letting me lead you today.
Thank you.